Surprise, surprise. I like to eat. I mean, I like to eat, but there's a couple of dishes, like a couple of meals in this world that are just... It's like raising the Super Bowl trophy above your head, or Tom Brady launching the Super Bowl trophy to your friend in a boat, I don't know, 50 yards away. For me, there's several of those dishes that exist that I just absolutely crave all the time. One of them being cheese pizza. I'm not going to name the restaurant, but we were in Memphis in Midtown, and my brother-in-law ordered this white pizza. Now, when we think of white pizza, most people, they think of one of those Alfredo style based pizzas. That's not what this is. It doesn't have red sauce on it, and it doesn't actually have the Alfredo style sauce on it. It's just a blend of like 4 or 5 different cheeses, and it is absolutely amazing. I took a bite of this, and there's really no going back, like, ever. So that put me on like a little bit of a mission. For about 2 or 3 years, me and my wife would go over and over and over to the restaurant in Midtown to enjoy this particular dish. But one pizza will cost you $35 for the size that would feed a family of 4, the large pizza. That can get expensive quick, depending on how often you want to go, not to mention the fact that to get to Midtown from South Haven, Mississippi, it's going to take you about 25 minutes, and that's in good traffic conditions. So, of course, we have to start learning how to make the dish ourselves. Now, I've been on this journey before. I really like Huey's Steak on a Stick. They have an amazing steak on a stick dish. It took me the better part of 2 years to crack that particular code, trying multiple variations of seasonings and marinades. I finally got it. This one was going to be more difficult. Let's face it, baking pizza is not just a straightforward process. It's tricky. It's got multiple steps that you can mess up very, very easily. It's very aggravating because it's pretty time consuming, and so if you take a lot of time to try it and it doesn't turn out, it puts you in somewhat of a bad mood. Okay, quick sidebar. But a few days ago, one of my very, very good friends, and you know who you are, told me, Mark, I don't have the patience to do a really, really long process for cooking. I want to like throw something on the grill really fast and be done with it when I get home from work within 10, 15 minutes. This may not be the dish for you. If you only have 15, 20, 30 minutes, this is not going to be your dish. It's going to take a little bit of time. It is so worth it. All right, here we go. We're going to start with the dough. Now, the good news is a lot of recipes require you to make the dough an entire day ahead of time to let it rise. Not our recipe. Our recipe is going to have a dough that rises in just 1 hour. You're going to start with 1.5 cups of warm water. Not hot water, not cold water. 1.5 cups of warm water. You're going to put it in a mixing bowl. Then you're going to add 2 packs of instant yeast. You're going to mix them, stir them slightly in there, and let it rest for 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, you're going to see a layer of foam. If you didn't see a layer of foam, that means your yeast was dead. You're going to then add 1/4 cup of olive oil, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 2.5 teaspoons of coarse salt. Now you're going to start to mix that up. You can either use a mixer with a dough hook or you can use your hands. At this point, you're going to get 4 cups of King Arthur all-purpose flour. Okay, we need another sidebar. We've done this recipe multiple times. Like, we tested lots of different things over a long time, and we did it wrong. Buy all of the ingredients that we're telling you to get and follow these instructions to the T so that you don't have to waste your money. Okay, let's go back. So King Arthur flour we've found is really good for this. So stick to King Arthur. 4 cups. You're going to want to level off the tops of those cups with a knife to make sure that you're not overdoing it on the flour, because as with all things baking, the measurements are pretty crucial. You're going to start to ease that flour into the mixer and watch that dough and to a point where it's starting to get tacky. So you may not use all 4 cups. We typically use close to 4 cups of flour. You certainly don't want to go over 4 cups of flour, but normally when you're getting really, really close to the end of that 4 cups of flour, as you're slowly adding it into the mixer, you're going to see that dough get tacky to the touch. You don't want it to stick to your finger. You don't want it to stick to the bowl. Clean the work surface really good. Throw flour down on the work surface. You're going to get several medium-sized bowls. For the recipe that we're telling you right now, you need 4 medium-sized bowls. You're going to spray those bowls with an olive oil spray. Then you're going to pull that dough out on the counter and knead the dough a few times. After you've kneaded it several times, you're going to cut it into 4 equal-sized pieces. You're going to make each of those individual pieces into a ball and fold it about 6 times, like folding over the top and towards the bottom. You're trying to capture some air inside of that pizza dough. Then once you do it about 6 times, you're going to seal the bottom of that little ball with your fingers. Put it into the bowl, and then you're going to spray the top of that pizza ball once again with some olive oil. Once you've done that, you're going to put saran wrap over the top of the bowl. Make sure it seals around the bowl. All right, your pizza dough is done. Now you're going to want to wait 1 hour. After 1 hour, you'll come back to see that your dough has done a good job of rising. At this point, you can rest and relax, but the best idea is to go ahead and start getting your pizza oven stuff together. Now, many of you may not have a pizza oven. I cannot guarantee what type of results you're going to get in a regular oven. I will say that I've heard lots of people have good success with using a pizza stone in your oven, but you've got to have that oven temperature up a ways. And when I say a ways, I would say at least 450 degrees. And I also know from seeing people online, you need to let that stone heat up in that oven for a good hour before it gets hot enough for you to actually launch a pizza onto it. Having said that, once you open the oven a lot and pull pizza in and out, the stone may not stay very hot, so you may not be able to do a whole lot of pizzas. You may only get 1 or 2 shots at actually launching a pizza in the oven to get good results. I can tell you that an actual pizza oven will give you very good results with the recipe that I'm about to show you. We use a Bighorn pizza oven. It's a pellet style pizza oven that I got on Amazon for about $200. At this point, you're going to fill the burner bay with hickory chips. You fill it to the top. I use hickory chips from Walmart. It's about $12 for a bag, and that bag will last you for a while. Once you fill those pellets up, this is the fun part. You actually pull out a blowtorch. You light the pellets with the blowtorch until you get good flame and the pellets are burning really nice and bright. At this point, you're going to shove the pellet bay into the back of the grill. Make sure the front of the grill is in place, closing it off, and you're going to let the grill burn for 12 minutes. 12 minutes. At this point, I'll run inside and I'll start to make the garlic sauce. You're going to get a pan, put it on the stove, put it on medium heat. You're going to pour in some olive oil into the top of the pan. You're then going to put about a spoonful of minced garlic into the pan. You're going to add oregano. You're going to add some salt, and you're going to add a little garlic powder. You're then going to stir that mixture until the minced garlic, starts to turn kind of a golden brown. It only takes a few minutes on medium heat on the oven. Once that's happened, you pull it off and begin to let it cool. At this point, you're going to head back outside. You're going to open the hopper and you're going to add 3 scoops of pellets to the hopper of the Bighorn grill. Once you've added those 3 scoops, you'll take your metal dowel rod and you will make sure that the pellets kind of feed themselves down into the bottom of the grill. You're going to close the hopper. You're going to go back inside and wait another 10 minutes. At this point, we're ready to make the pizza. You're going to flour the surface of your countertop. You're going to form the dough. Start with the edges. Work all the way around the edges. Then you're going to start poking the middle, and at this point you avoid the edges. You want the edge to kind of have that little crust that you're forming on the sides. You're going to flip it over and repeat. You're going to make sure that you're getting that middle poked down on the opposite side. You're going to flip it over and put the pizza dough on your knuckles and begin to stretch using your knuckles, very carefully stretching the bottom and avoiding the edges. You'll stretch around and around and around as you form the pizza. Pizza is on the counter or on your launcher. If you want to, sometimes it's easier to go ahead and put it on the launcher. At this point, you're going to spread the garlic oil base on the pizza. Make sure you get it evenly spread out. Parmesan cheese. Sprinkling Parmesan cheese. Now here we're going to use 2 other cheeses. The entire pizza is made up of 3 cheeses: Parmesan, Fontina, and mozzarella. But keep the Fontina light. It is a very rich cheese and it'll give a pretty bad flavor if you go too heavy. It's delicious if you use just the right amount. So a very light layer of Fontina cheese, and then freshly grated mozzarella. Most people will tell you low moisture. I couldn't find anything low moisture in DeSoto County. So Super Low, Kroger both have this little mozzarella ball. It's perfect. It tastes amazing. You're going to shred that up. Sometimes it's easier to put that in the freezer for just a few seconds. And we put a pretty good helping of mozzarella cheese on the pizza. At this point, you're going to find basil, some fresh basil. Sprinkle some fresh basil over the pizza, and we're almost there. If you haven't already loaded it on the launcher, it's time to put the pizza on your launcher. At this point, you're going to want semolina flour. Sprinkle semolina flour all over the launcher. You're going to ease the pizza onto the launcher, being very careful not to destroy it as you do so. Once you get it on the launcher with that semolina flour, you're going to make sure that it glides nice and easy on the launcher. If it doesn't, pick up the edges of the pizza a little bit and put a little more semolina flour under it. Once your pizza glides very evenly and that pizza oven is really nice and hot, then it's time to launch it in the oven. You're carefully going to ease it to the oven, take the door off very quickly, launch the pizza in, and then close the door back on it. This takes literally a minute and a half if you've got a really hot pizza oven. In this case, the Bighorn oven, a minute and a half is going to be all you need to cook a pizza. You're going to let the pizza go in the oven for about 30 to 40 seconds at the most. You're going to take the door off and take a pair of tongs, and you're going to lightly turn the pizza, being very easy. And you'll be able, once you open that oven and look in, you'll see that the cheese is bubbling, and you can touch the edge of that pizza with the tongs and see if it's freely moving or not. Typically, after 30 seconds, it's going to be cooked good on one side. You're going to pull those tongs and just lightly tug at the pizza and twist it around in the pizza oven. Put the door back on it for another 20 seconds, 30 seconds. After that, the pizza's done. So at this point, you're going to have a 12-inch cookie sheet ready to go. You're going to slip the pizza. Again, I don't even use the launcher. I use the tongs, and I pull the pizza out of the oven and slip it onto the cookie sheet. Now, at this point, my wife is already inside fixing the next pizza on the launcher. She's got it ready to go. So when I use the tongs and pull this pizza out on the cookie sheet, I take it inside, set it on the table, sprinkle a little bit more salt on it. We'll have a pizza oven, pizza cutter, cut the pizza. It's ready to go. But at this point, I'm also launching the very next pizza into the oven. It's a good idea to have multiple cookie sheets because this always makes 4 pizzas. We happen to have 4. That's it. The best cheese pizza you've ever had in your life. Trust me, it is delicious.